for Arjuna. Where? In Bhagavad Gita. Hmm? Very, very sweet verse where Krishna is giving profuse assurance that how he protects his devotees. Where Krishna uses the word tat in Bhagavad Gita. We're knowing this is the sweetness of Bhagavad Gita, is the intimacy and the exchange between Krishna and Arjuna. Find out. Hmm? Okay, I'm going ahead. And twice here, Maharaj Yudhishthira is addressing Arjuna as Tat. And what is he inquiring? Kachit me anamayam tata. He begins by asking, is your health okay? Are you okay? Is your health okay? Why? Because Brashta Teja Vibhasing. I see the splendor and the effulgence of your face has been greatly diminished. Brashta Teja Vibhasing. So what is the reason? What has made you diminish your teja, your luster? Is it alabdhamana, alabdhamana? Hmm? Somebody has disrespected you, or avignata, somebody has ignored or neglected you. Why? Chiroshita, because of long residence in Dwarka. My dear, my brother Arjuna, please tell me whether your health is all right. You appear to have lost your bodily luster. Is this due to other disrespecting and neglecting you because of your long stay at Dwarka? So now the focus has shifted from all others to Arjuna. Yudhishthira Maharaj is inquiring from Arjuna. From all angles of vision, Maharaj inquired from Arjuna about the welfare of Dwarka. But he concluded at last that as long as Lord Sri Krishna himself was there, nothing inauspicious could happen. But at the same time, Arjuna appeared to be bereft of his bodily luster. And thus the king inquired about his personal welfare and asked so many vital questions. So for a Kshatriya, if he is disrespected or is neglected, that situation is said to be even worse than death. Where Krishna speaks this verse, for a Kshatriya, disrespect or neglect is even more worse than death. Hmm? Yes, Sonika?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please speak.
Prabhuji, it was spoken in second chapter, Prabhuji.
Yeah, in a series of verses. Any verse you remember?
Not exactly, Prabhuji.
Anyone else?
తతస్తవ కషమల మీద విషమేశం ఉపదిష్టం అనారగిష్టం అస్వర్గం అకీర్తికరం రుచి.
That is Krishna directly chastising and telling Arjuna that your symptoms of compassion is cowardice. But where he's saying that the neglect or disrespect is even worse than death. That is verse number 36 in the second chapter. Avachvadamscha bahun vadashyanti tavahita nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkha tarum nakim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Then also in the 34th verse he says that akirti chapi bhutani kathashyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakirti Marnadati richate. People will always speak of your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. This is the precise verse. Hmm. For a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Prabhupada says, for a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life, but better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So for a Kshatriya, Kshatriya prestige is very, very important. Honor. Their valor is their honor. And if somebody disrespects them or insults them or ignores them, then they can give their life, but not accept that. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is inquiring Arjuna that why all the tejas has been faded away? Has someone disrespected you or neglected you, ignored you? What is the reason? Kachinna abhito abhave shabdadi veera mangale na dattam uktam arthibhya asayayat pratishuta. Further he inquires, has someone addressed you with unfriendly, inauspicious words? That is again insult or disrespect. Kshatriya cannot tolerate that. Then for a Kshatriya, very important that na dattam uktam arthibhya, that you could not give charity to someone who asked from you. You could not give charity to one who asked, or you could not keep your promise to someone. Asayayat pratishutam, that you could not fulfill your promise to someone. We see in many instances that when Arjuna could not keep his promise. Some instances where Arjuna could not fulfill his promise. Arjuna failed to fulfill his promise. So what was the outcome of that situation? What he intended to do? Bolo, Mahabharata suna hai. You have been hearing Mahabharata since your birth in India. Yes, Madan Swarup Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Babaji.
Hare Krishna.
He had taken a vow to kill the Bhishma Pitama and other
Who had
warriors.
taken a vow?
Arjuna.
Arjuna had taken a vow to kill the Bhishma Pitama. Where?
Before sunset. Or otherwise he will...
No, not Bhishma Pitama. Arjuna never took a vow to kill Bhishma Pitama. Where, in which part of Mahabharata are you quoting from?
No, I don't remember.
No, it is not there. Bhishma Pitama took a vow. He took 5 arrows and he told Duryodhana that with the 5 arrows I am going to kill all the 5 Pandavas. Next day, when Duryodhana came and very much instigated Bhishma Pitama that you are siding with the Pandavas and not fighting to your might and ability. He was very scornful of his words. And Bhishma Pitama took out the 5 arrows. It is a different concept. And that 5 arrows, Duryodhana was so foolish, he took it. And Krishna saw to it that there's 5 arrows from Duryodhana was taken back. So Bhishma Pitama could never kill. Arjuna never vowed. Arjuna has such love and affection for Bhishma Pitama, he refused to fight.
He had taken a vow, I don't know against whom, but...
Yes, but that was the different character. Who is the character? Ramya? Boli, your hand was up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, he was the brother-in-law of Duryodhan, but I am not remembering right now.
He was the killer of Abhimanyu.
Yes.
How can't you remember? What is his name? Yes, Sonika.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jayadratha.
Jayadratha. He is Jayadratha. He had taken a vow that before sunset he is going to slay and sever the head of Jayadratha. And what happened? He could not fulfill his promise. The sun was set. And what he did? He was about to take fire funeral. And of course, by Krishna's blessing, the sun again rose. There was another instance also, where Arjuna, the Kshatriyas, they have Ishwar Bhav. They have the Bhava, they have the tendency to take the position of masters. When in Dwarka there was a Brahman who was losing his sense after his birth. And that Brahman was, cursing and abusing Krishna and Balram. And Arjuna happens to be there and he says, I will protect your son. I will see to it that he will not die. And Arjuna builds a fortress of arrows. And still the son dies. And what happens? He could not fulfill his promise. Then again Arjuna is prepared to lay down his life. That is what is Pran jai par vachan na jai. This is what Kshatriya is. That if he has promised, he will see to it that he will fulfill his promise. Otherwise, if he cannot fulfill his promise, then he will die. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is asking, is something like such grave situation has happened? Arjuna, what has happened to you? Why you are so pathetic? You could not fulfill your promise. You could not give charity. Another very unique feature of the Kshatriya is to give charity. If he fails to give charity, that situation is even worse than death. Example of giving charity is Bali Maharaj, a Kshatriya. When the Lord said that you have nothing, I have conquered everything in my 2 steps. So how you will fulfill your promise? You told me that you will give me 3 steps of land. So in 2 steps I have covered everything. Where do I place my 3rd step? So he said, my Lord, place it on my head. This is not covered. So he fulfills his promise. So here, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking that have you failed to fulfill the promise? Did you not able to give in charity what you promised? So in this way, he is jerking up Arjuna. A Kshatriya or a rich man is sometimes visited by persons who are in need of money. When they are asked for a donation, it is the duty of a possessor of wealth to give charity in consideration of the person, place and time. This is such a hope-giving verse for all of us to beg for donations of Bhagavad Gita without any hesitation. The onus is not on us. The onus is from whom we are asking. समझ में आया नहीं समझ में आया सब बुझे हुए चेहरे अभी भी दिख रहे हैं मुझे By going by this principle, we should have no hesitation in asking or begging for a donation. Because it is a duty. If he has even a, iota of Kshatriya spirit, he is a true Kshatriya. There's a very beautiful passage when we will come of sage Dadhichi. When Indra will come to beg the body of Dadhichi so that he can have a mace built. Why? Because he can then kill Vritrasura. Otherwise, he cannot conquer Vritrasura. And there also, this very beautiful conversation is there. The principles are given. So if one has the ability, samarthya, see, again I am reading, hear very attentively. A Kshatriya or rich man is sometimes visited by a person who are in need of money. When they are asked for a donation, it is the duty of the possessor of wealth to give in charity in consideration of the person, place and time. Desha, Kala and Patra. If a Kshatriya or a rich man fails to comply with his obligation, he must be very sorry for this discrepancy. Similarly, one should not fail to keep his promise to give in charity. These discrepancies are sometimes causes of despondency, and thus failing a person becomes subjected to criticism, which might also be the cause of Arjuna's plight. What is the charity in the mode of goodness? Who remembers? We discussed in detail the charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. What are the features of charity in the mode of goodness? Charity in the mode of goodness. Yes, Sonika, your hand was up first.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, charity should be given to the means Sahi Patra ko, like Vaishnavas who are engaged in preaching and spreading Krishna consciousness.
Just three things are there now. Desha patre cha kale cha. That what you are saying is correct, but I want a more precise answer. Yes, Dashin.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
What is the first aspect of giving charity? What is the most
charity,
important
mode of,
principle?
yes, Prabhuji. Charity in the mode of goodness is that without expectation, Prabhuji.
Yes. And
Anything.
as a
Matter of duty.
yes, this is the first thing. Charity should be given as a matter of duty. That is in the mode of goodness. As soon as there is some return expected or some name, fame, glory expected, it is not in the mode of goodness. It immediately comes down to the mode of passion. The charity should be out of duty, without expectation of any return. And then it has to be desh kalecha patrecha. Datavyam iti yad danam diyate anupkarine. I stress this word many times. Anupkarine. Upkar is on the self. Upkar is not to the other to whom one is giving charity. If that thought is there, that charity is in mode of passion. So here, out of duty, the Kshatriyas give charity. And feeling that, they feel so dejected. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, further he says, Kvachitvam brahmanam balam gamvardham roginam striyam sharana upashritam satvam na atyakshi sharana prada. Another feature of Kshatriya is Shata iti trahete Kshatriya, one who protects the dharma. And he also protects the weaker sections. So you are always the protector of the deserving living beings such as brahmanas, children, cows, women, old men, and the diseased. Could you not give them protection when they approached you for shelter? So otherwise, possibly what would be the cause of Arjuna's grievances? So Maharaj Yudhishthira is one after the other inquiring about it. The Brahmanas who are always engaged in researching knowledge for the society's welfare work, both materially and spiritually, deserve the protection of the king in all respects. Similarly, the children of the state, the cow, the diseased person, the woman, and the old man specifically require the protection of the state or a Kshatriya king. If such living beings do not get protection by the Kshatriyas or the royal order or by the state, it is certainly shameful for the Kshatriya or the state. If such things had actually happened to Arjuna, Maharaj Yudhishthira was anxious to know about these discrepancies. Kachitvam nagamo gamya gamyam vasat kritam striyam parijato vata bhavam nato me nashame pathi. Have you contacted a woman of impeachable character Or have you not properly treated a deserving woman? Or have you been defeated on the way by someone who is inferior or equal to you? Further, he probes. In a way, he is probing in the form of questioning. It appears from this verse that during the time of Pandavas, free contact between men and women was allowed in certain conditions only. The higher caste men, namely the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, could accept a woman of the Vaishya or Shudra community. But a man from the lower caste could not contact a woman of a higher caste. Even a Kshatriya could not contact a woman of the Brahmana caste. The wife of a Brahmana is considered one of the 7 mothers. We have discussed so many times now, the 7 mothers. Who remembers? It is there in the purport, but without seeing the purport. Who remembers the 7 mothers? We discussed previously also in Prabhupada's purport. रविंदर, जो 7 माताएं हैं उनमें से कम 4 बताइए.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
One is one mother and mother of spiritual master, mother of Brahman, and Dhai ma, nurse.
If you can collect more, go continue.
Then Bhumata, Gomata,
Yeah.
Bhumata and Gomata.
हो गया ना. भू माता एंड गौ माता 2 हो गए, ढाई हो गई, अपनी माता हो गई, स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर की माता हो गई, and Brahmani also 6. What is the 7th, Pranav?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I also collect this 6. 7th one, I'm not recalling.
Anyone who knows the 7th? Yes, Manini Mata.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। वो 6 ही पता था प्रभु जी।
अभी आपने हाथ लगाया फिर उसको हटा दिया.
नहीं, मैंने नहीं एड्रेस किया।
अच्छा, परपोर्ट में 7 लिखा है. यस सोनिका बोलिए.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, वाइफ ऑफ किंग.
हाँ, वेरी गुड. वाइफ ऑफ द किंग. शी इज कॉल्ड राजमाता. राजमाता, yes. So Prabhupada gives here, namely one's own mother, the wife of a spiritual master or teacher, wife of a Brahmana, the wife of a king, the cow, the nurse, and the earth. Such contact between man and woman was known as Uttama and Adhama. Contact of a Brahmana with a Kshatriya woman is Uttama. But the contact of a Kshatriya with a Brahmana woman is Adhama and therefore condemned. A woman approaching a man for contact should never be refused. But at the same time, the discretion as above mentioned may also be considered. Bhima was approached by Hidimba from a community lower than the Shudras, and Yayati refused to marry the daughters of Shukracharya because of Shukracharya being a Brahmana. Vyasadeva, a Brahmana, was called to beget Pandu and Dhritarashtra. Satyavati belonged to a family of fishermen. But Parashar, a great Brahman, begot in her Vyasadeva. So there are many examples of contact with women, but in all cases the contacts were not abominable, nor were the results of such contacts bad. Contact between man and woman is natural, but that must be carried out under regulative principles so that social configuration may not be disturbed or unwanted worthless population be increased for the unrest of the world. It is abominable for a Kshatriya to be defeated by one who is inferior in strength or equal in strength. If one is defeated at all, he should be defeated by some superior power. Arjuna was defeated by Bhishma Dev, and Lord Krishna saved him from the danger. This was not an insult for Arjuna because Bhishma Dev was far superior to Arjuna in all ways, namely age, respect, and strength. But Karna was equal to Arjuna, and therefore Arjuna was in a crisis when fighting with Karna. It was felt by Arjuna, and therefore Karna was killed even by crooked means. Prabhupada is making this statement here. that Karna was killed even by crooked means. This is amazing. Such are the engagements of the Kshatriyas, and Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from his brothers whether anything undesirable had happened on the way home from Dwarka. Apisvit paryo bhunkatastvam sambhojyam vriddha balaka jugupshitam karma kinchit kritavanayad akshama. Have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? Have you left them and taken your meals alone? Have you committed some unpardonable mistake which is considered to be abominable? Further is probing. It is the duty of a householder to feed first all the children. See, Prabhupada says, it does not say the duty of a Kshatriya. What is he quoting? It is the duty of a householder to feed first all the children, old members of the family, the Brahmanas and the invalids. Besides that, an ideal householder is required to call for any unknown hungry man to come and dine before he himself goes to take his meals. He is required to call for such a hungry man thrice on the road. The neglect of this prescribed duty of a householder, especially in the matter of the old men and children, is unpardonable. So any situation like this happened with Arjuna. Kachit prestha tamena tha hridayena atma bandhuna shunyasmi rahito nityam manyaseta anyathanaro. Or is it that you are feeling empty for all time because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? Now he comes to the point. At the end of the chapter, that you are feeling empty because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna. Oh, my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for you becoming so dejected. All the inquisitiveness of Maharaj Yudhishthir about the world situation was already conjectured by Maharaj Yudhishthir on the basis of Lord Krishna's disappearance from the vision of the world. And this was not disclosed by him because of acute dejection of Arjuna, which could not have been possible otherwise. So even though he was doubtful about it, he was obliged to inquire frankly from Arjuna on the basis of Sri Narad's indications. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the first canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'll take the next chapter, possibly after 2 presentations, or maybe 3. Okay. For this chapter, any question, any discussion, any contributions? Just see, only one question was to be asked. That is there in this 44th verse. And to build up for that question, the whole chapter is there. And mostly it is focused on what? That Yudhishthira Maharaj is inquiring. And after so much of probe and so much of inquiry, he finally asked the pertinent question. So I was thinking, I was deliberating, why in Bhagavatam the full chapter is given? The final verse, only the relevant portion comes. And all of it is a build-up. Hare Krishna. So we have chapter allocation till 10. Okay, we have some time. Let us go further. Yeah. Sonika will present 8. Pranav, you have 9th.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Manani Mataji has 10th.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So 11th will be Manoram Prabhu. Okay. 11th chapter is entitled Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Okay. And then the 12th chapter is birth of Emperor Parikshit. Who wants to take this chapter? I'm asking you. Second round. Okay, there Shri Prabhu, very good. You'll take the 12th chapter. 13th? Will you take the 13th chapter? Very powerful chapter. तो बाकी लोग तो कुछ करना ही नहीं चाहते हैं, उनको जबरदस्ती बोला जाता है तो करेंगे, वरना चांस मिला तो कुछ नहीं करेंगे. प्रदीप, you present? Will you be able to present? Why not? Present. Prepare. 13th chapter, Dhritarashtra quits home. Very powerful teachings from Vidur, Mahatma Vidur. And 14th chapter, which we concluded just now, disappearance of Lord Krishna. Manoram, you please keep writing. Yours is 11th. Dayashil Prabhu's is 12th. Pradeep is 13th. We'll take the 14th. Priyanka? Very short chapter. 14th. Okay. Okay. Any other question or discussion on this chapter? Disappearance of Lord Krishna. Connect हुआ ये chapter? नहीं हुआ. पता ही नहीं चला, it is over. Yudhishthira Maharaj is just, first he is inquiring, then he is glorifying, and then he is putting the spotlight on Arjuna. And in the last verse, he is asking that relevant question. And the chapter is over. Okay, we will conclude here today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.